All right, let's continue our project. I've just built calamares. It's on the repo. What I would like to have is a Carli calamares config queue. So something with QML. Okay, so we'll go to the internet and I'll pause my recording so to see that I'm logged in already. Otherwise I have to log in to my GitHub account, and I'm gonna create with you a new GitHub URL. Voila, I'm logged in, and there is Carli repo, and here we have Carli 10. Just thinking about changing the number, but it doesn't need to be. It's just calamares and configuration. That's really not a big change at all. So what I like to do is play around with another configuration. So you can have a configuration that is the one you're using on the current distribution, and you have another one that you experiment with, and that will probably become the next Carli calamares configuration, but you're not sure yet, so you want to experiment. You go to the new button up here, and then you say, okay, let's make a new Carli calamares config, but this time based on QML. So Q config. That's enough for you. You know what it is, public. So there's gonna be a QML. You can type QML if you like, right? It really is up to you how you call that thing, as long as you know what's in there. Okay, maybe for educational reasons, just type the 3 letters QML. So this thing is gonna be a new repository. That's the name. Create repository. Okay. This is the URL. I can copy paste it here as well. It's exactly the same thing up here and down here. It's copy pasted. I don't need to Control A anything and Control etc. No, just click here, done. Then we move down here. Right mouse click, open a terminal, git clone. This URL please, thank you very much. You appear to have cloned an empty repository. Yeah. So now I'm gonna copy paste, not everything, right guys? Control H, git. Never ever copy paste the .git. Why? In here is that history and all the details and the configuration of that particular GitHub, that's a repository. So doesn't say QML here, right? It doesn't, but it does in the other one. It's empty, but it's not .git. It's not empty. QML. If you start copy pasting the .git, you break your Git. Got it? That's important. So I want to copy paste, yes, without the Git. So Control H, Control A, Control C, move up, go here, Control V. That's all. Copy paste. Let's start again. ALCI. Ooh, what's that? That's the wrong name. Cool. So Carli. Carli calamares QML. How much information you put online, it's entirely up to you, right? You can leave the readmes out of it, but we're gonna push to the internet with the GitHub here. So let me change this thing here as well. Probably did the copy paste, right? It's always the same. And forget to change that particular word. That's it. So we got Carli calamares configuration, Carli calamares QML config something. Oh my god. Right? Did you see it? Why is there a dash? Rename it. Rename. That's a mistake. That was a typo. So this thing is a typo as well. Moreover, Control H, this is a typo as well. Change everything the way it should be. Save. We're all good now. These things happen, right? They happen. Simple as that. Why? We're human. We make typos. But anyway, that's solved. Now the fun stuff. All right, these two guys are exactly the same thing. The only difference now is Carli calamares config and Carli calamares QML config. That's the only difference. The rest is exactly the same. Copy, paste. Now we need to have a look at the possibilities. So settings conf. We need to have a look at the original that comes from calamares website. We need to have a look at sources, modules, recognize it. And we see here lots of things. Bootloader. Any of these modules, well, not always, but they do have files, config files, and as you see, YAML files, right? Now, we want them, if we want them, the modules, we can set and use their own configuration files. So we need to have a look, and that's what we're gonna go for. Finished queue, it says here. Finished queue. We're gonna have a look at all the queue stuff. Welcome queue. You see? Here it says welcome.conf. Here it says welcome queue. Here it says welcome. Welcome.conf. Welcome.conf. Get it? Welcome queue. Welcome queue.conf. So that's certainly one I would like to have. Control C, Control V. Now, I was thinking, will I delete this guy or will I keep this guy? I think for educational purposes, I'll keep it. So when you compare both of them, you see that the welcome conf is there, but it's just a file. We're not gonna use it. Where, on earth do I say to use it? Here, in the settings.conf. And the settings.conf is a little bit hidden away. It's here, up here, settings.conf. Here it is in the calamares GitHub. So control find, give me all the queues, probably a lot of queues, but let's scroll through here, voila, and then find. There is a notes QML, and there it finish is already. Oh, so there is no list. We need to figure it out ourselves. There is no welcome queue. Okay, nice to know. Now we know it's entirely up to us. Okay, fine. Then we go back to where we're supposed to be, the sources, modules, the modules here. Maybe let's finish the welcome thing. Settings. Where's the welcome thing? Here's the welcome thing. I can say, let's do the welcome queue. And well, now it's the matter of delete. Will I delete it or just put a hashtag in front of it so you still can compare the difference? What did we change? Well, we told him not to use the welcome module, but we told him to show the welcome queue. That's what we've done now. Is really going to go to here and it's gonna run its applications, and we better take a look at what's in here, the welcome queue conf. But maybe it's better if I take these two guys and see. So the queue is to the right. Okay, show support URL is false. Here it says true, true, and true. And we decided to say false. So if we keep on having the same idea of how a welcome should look, we should change it back. And all the rest seems like it's more or less the same. So configuration for the welcome queue module, read everything. Exactly the same as the welcome module, with the one exception of QML search, which governs QML loading. No documentation is given here. Look in the welcome module. Setting for QML loading, use QRC, branding, or both source of files, QML search, both. Show support. Let's start. False. Don't want to see this. That's the decision, right? It's up to you to decide if you want to show it or not. Required storage is 5.5 too low for your distribution. You want to have people installing, for instance, in VirtualBox 10 gigabyte. Okay, then you type 10. Right? Required RAM, 1 gigabyte on RAM is the minimum now. If you got internet or not, so Calamares is gonna ping or check URL, this URL. If he gets a response, fine. Calamares says you are online and you can install stuff, download stuff, and otherwise it'll just skip all that and say, oh, he's not online. So why bother downloading something because you can't? And all the rest I think is pretty much, this is just text. Storage required root, so it's going to check quite a few things: storage, RAM, power, internet, root. If you don't like that, again, hashtag. But let's see what happens if we do. Okay, done. This is our choice, right? This is what we've done. We've changed a little bit, false, 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 and that's it. And that's what we need to do for all the rest. Is there a rest? Let's have a look. So we started at the bottom. Let's go up then. Users and user queue. Okay, do I have a users? Maybe I've not defined yet users. Yes, I have. Users conf. So we got it from here, copy paste up to here, and we've edited it. We've changed it. Now, best tip ever, change from plain text to something else. In my case, I always take Perl. Anything that's gray is not used. It's just text. You read the text, of course. But everything that's Calamares is using is colorful. So name, users must exist, true, system true. And all the groups, name is will, must exist is false, system true, audio. Auto login group is that, to auto login is true, etc., etc. You read the text, and there is even how to make a password super difficult, right? Minimum length and all that, minimum class. Not really a fan of that, but hey, choices. So we've got users conf. It's defined here. That's our users conf. We've changed it to the way we like it. That's the point, right? Change it to something you like. And these are our changes. Then we go to the users queue and something else. We have the users queue conf. Control C, Control V. I have now a users queue. I'm gonna compare it, and I see there are lots of differences, right? For documentation, see users model, users LP. Wheel is there, LP admin. That's different. Yes, it is. It's not here. So I wonder why. As I do too. Allow weak passwords is false. I'd like to have to be that true. So let's see, right? Allow weak passwords default is false. Let's see and set it again to true, so I can type in Eric. That is a weak password. And all the rest, right, is unchanged. And we'll see what difference there is. It is a lot of building, testing, saving, configuring, again, testing, building, changing, until you find the right variables to set, and then you don't change them anymore, because then you found your way of doing things. Choices again. So what else? Users queue. We're going up, we're going up. Summary queue. Did we do summary queue already? S. There is no summary. I never added summary, right? So there's two summaries that we can do. And Control find. Here he is. Here's a summary. And what did we change now? The users, right? The users. Okay. So let's add that to the list here. There are two users. I might be mistaken, but I don't think I am. I think we need to change this one here, and then get rid of this one. And that's experimentation, right? And there's also the other one, your input. Now we're getting somewhere, right? There is the, hey, here we are, and let's show you what we've got, right? The show kind of part of the module, and there's also the execution part of the module. So the users queue needs to be here as well. So the welcome queue and the user queue, users queue, no typos allowed. Here you are. What did I change? Control Z. Okay, I've changed this. Control Z and that. Okay, cool. So that's correct and that's correct, and this needs to be there. So what I forgot to do is here. And then basically, yeah, Eric. Well, like this, right? Users queue, and this one is then the old one. Voila. So users queue is there, and finished queue. We've got a queue there already, but this is a summary queue. Okay, never had a summary queue, so I'm curious to see, and that's the fun, right? What did calamares develop? Summary queue. So, any configuration? No. There is a text cpp h, cpp h, cpp h. No conf. How about this one? Lists QML, qrec, cp, no configuration. So nothing to put in here, but something to put in here. I like to see my summary in the Q version. Okay, we'll do that. Summary Q. So this configuration is intended for me to keep track of all the future developments that people do, and I mean by that not just calamares, but KOS is behind it, and Endeavor-OS is behind it, Garuda, Manjaro, they're all behind making calamares better. And QML, or the Q versions of these modules, are being developed daily. So keeping track of changes, innovation, that's basically this config then. Okay, that's safe. So shell processor, remove there, was there, plasma partition, package its user, net install. Maybe you're interested in OEM, which means you're selling a laptop or something and you put on ArcoLinux and people boot in, and then you install everything. You ask the user his name and so on, and then they reboot and everything is done, right? It's kind of like Windows or Mac or anything like that. So I've done it, tried it, and don't like it. So choices again. Maybe you're interested. So that's why I'm saying it. This one is not used for now. Not sure why we need notes, but should investigate, but later. Keyboard Q. Keyboard Q. That's something we'd like to add. Keyboard Q. Key. There is no keyboard. It's alphabetically. There is no K up here. All right. Do we have a configuration file in the old one? Yes, we have one. Do we have a configuration file in the new one? Yes, we have one. So Control C, Control V is getting the configuration file already. Is there anything in there that's actually important for us? Doesn't look like it. Oh yeah, it does. There is something. The name of the file to write in settings and default settings streams is in the locale relative to. Okay, and I've converted path. So this might be important. We'll see if it is. We go back to keyboard Q, right? So I'll tell the system it's no longer keyboard, but from now on we can use keyboard Q. Save. Next one. We have finished queue, but finished queue, I thought that I've made that already for you guys in the past. So finished queue. What is important though is that you check from time to time with a super F5, open up melt, go and compare what's the latest finished queue with the finished queue I have maybe from months and months and months ago, right? So check out again what changed. Ooh, wrong file indeed. So this file. Something changed, all right. Notify on finished true, but that was my decision. I wanted to ask him, okay, hey, are you ready? Yes, I am finished. So you see? So nothing changed really. That's the message here, but you need to do it. You need to check, is there new code? Are there new parameters? Is there new variables? You need to check it. Finished queue, done, finished. Button Qt, that's dummy, so we don't need to do that for testing and all that. We're done. That's all the queues. There's only one queue. I don't know what that is. It's nodes SQML. I've seen it up there. Never tested it out. And Eric, this is actually the moment to test these things out. So you learn. So it's not there already. So same applies. Super F5. File comparison. This is the settings of months ago, maybe years ago, right? And this is the settings from calamares from today. What's different? Now things are different because we've made lots of net install applications, right? But all the rest seems a little bit the same. Now this is something welcome queue. It's behind the welcome. So let's add this guy here, but without a hashtag. We want to test out what is this node SQML for nodes QML. That's better. Nodes QML. So keyword is keyword queue. User is user queue. Summary is summary queue. And all the rest is pretty much the same, where you can encrypt. That's encrypting. This is for, I think was Red Hat, was it? That we use some kind of shell process. Remove user. Why is this not in here? I wonder, right? Would have? I don't know why it's not there. But we removed the live user. And then the user queue is there. We created packages, or we're using packages, the module packages, to install more stuff. Drucket, was that for Red Hat? Just Google it. Init RAM file system, grub CFG, shell process, finished queue. Okay, looking all good. And all the rest is exactly the same. So we're good. The nodes QML, however, we need to investigate that. The nodes QML. Okay. We go to source. Whoops. Yeah. Nodes. Note alphabetically. This thing. We have something in here. What's this? You read like anybody else. You read. Let's pause so I can read. Alright, I've been reading and looking online as well to check out the nodes QML. Module can be used to display a QML file as an installer step. So something like, hey, we released this node, this version, that node version, and that's important, this is important, and all that. So what we could do is create a file, nodes QML, .qml, and put it in our well, branding. Basically we have our branding in here, default, and let's let it become part of our way of doing things, like the finished queue. QML is here as well. I see we've changed in other videos already. and let it be part. Now, figuring out all this new stuff, nobody ever explained anything to you, right? What you do is you look it up. You are searching for something like calamares in this case, nodes, QML, and see what you get, and go for dinner, right? But there is also Parrot, sec.org, GitLab, Manjaro. There you go. What do the guys of Manjaro do? There is here a nodes QML.qml. Means that this is code, and the code just says basically these are example release notes. That's good enough for us. It's a good start. So we can download this thing like this. Fine. Show in a folder, and then Control X this thing and put it in our folder. Control V this thing. So now we have a nodes QML.qml. Right? Now, the question is now, do I need something else? Will it find its way? Can be used to display a QML file. Is the exact name enough? To support instant QML modules, searching in the branding directory, look for the full node SQML at instance ID name as well. So I think it will find it automatically. Both QRC and branding, both. Name of the QML file, if not set, uses the name of the instance of the module. If you list this module in settings.conf, you get ID, otherwise it would be normally nodes.qml or nodes.qml. So basically, I don't even need to do this because it's the exact correct name that I've used. And you can add some more languages here. This is my own language, Netherlands, which is opmerkingen if you want to know. And I think we're ready to try it out. What did I now create? What abomination did we create, right? Now, what's new, basically? What's new? QML. Pushing to the internet because the package builds is coming from the internet. Package build. Maybe we should make another video to package this thing that we've now created, and then another video to test it out. But this is still the push, meaning this is what we've done. Maybe we should also we are first commit or something. Okay, voila, that's online. Thank you, Alacrity. And if you want to have a look, and this will be your future work, right? Compare what is different. Here we have a nodes QML. Here we have a keyboard queue, a user queue, a welcome queue, and settings.conf. The settings.conf need to reflect everything. Welcome queue, user queue. What else did I say? There's a space that doesn't need to be there. That alone is interesting, right? Get rid of the spaces. And seems to me I said something else. So keyboard users welcome, keyboard users welcome, keyboards users welcome. Okay, we've got them all, and the nodes QML. So now we can build, and that's the next video, how to build again a package. All right.